With the issue of illiteracy slowly becoming a concern in South Africa, the Book Dash initiative is set to address this crisis by flooding the country with books. The non-profit organization that's headed by directors Dorette, Louw and Norrish aims to offer children access to about 1 million high-quality online books free of charge. Dorette joins us now via Skype to tell us more about what they want to achieve with this initiative. Dorette, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Simpiwe.
Good morning to you and welcome to the show. Let's start with you taking us through what Books Dash is about and why you saw the need to create such an organization.
Book Dash was started in 2014 by people who realized that there were not enough South African books for children. In other words, culturally relevant books for children that were also affordable. So the aim of the organization is to create a really affordable, culturally relevant, fun, beautiful, high-quality books, and to then source funding to print those books and give them away to children. We want to have every child own 100 books by the age of 5. That is our vision, and that is what we hope to achieve.
Now, give us an overview of Book Dash's journey to date, and also you can throw forward your future goals and the vision for this initiative.
Sure. So initially we started small, but as the years went by, we've gathered momentum and we've found incredibly loyal funding partners who help us on this journey. So they provide the funding for us to print the books. But to take a step back, our books are created by creative volunteers. So one of the reasons why our books are so affordable is that we don't pay anyone to help create these books. They are created by volunteer writers, illustrators, designers, editors. No one is paid for their work, which means that our only cost that remains is the cost of printing. So we managed to print our books and give them to our distribution partners at about 10 Rand a copy, which is very, very little if you think how much children's books usually cost. So the one side of our work is enabled by this fantastic power of our creative volunteers who give their time 12 hours at a creative event called a Book Dash. We make these. And then the second part of our work is enabled by our funding partners who provide us with funds to then print the copies and give them away, because we believe that physical books, hard copies, are really important for children to have in their homes. There's a large body of research that shows how important it is for children to own books in the home. And then the third part of what we do is enabled by our distribution partners, which are organizations across the country who work in early childhood development, who are literacy promotion organizations, and they then distribute the books to the children and their families. They work with the parents about why reading is so important. They really help to create this kind of excitement about the joy of reading. And the benefits for children of preschool age are just enormous. And I'm looking forward,
we don't have much time, unfortunately, quickly take us through the role that children's books play in creating inclusiveness and representativeness of the African culture, as it were.
Yes. So many of our creative volunteers have commented on the fact that when they grew up, they could never identify with the books that they read because the children didn't look like them. The contexts were not the same context as theirs. So it's really important that children can see themselves in a book, that they can identify with it. It's affirmative, it affirms the child's identity. It's a mirror on their world. And at the same time, books can be a window on a wider world out there. And it's really important for children's conceptual development and language development that they're exposed to as many stories as possible where they can see themselves in the pages.
Dorette, I do understand that some of the Book Dash's creative volunteers include the seasoned authors such as Lauren Bukers and Cindy Umakona. Do tell us more about that, as well as how others can come on board.
Yes, so we have our Book Dash events around about twice a year. And at each event, we create 10 books. And we invite people to apply professionals who work in the creative fields. So we usually have a very interesting mix of really seasoned and respected people like Sindiwe Magona, like Lauren, like many other people as well, illustrators that are, work internationally. So we have a mix of those people and then people who are at the beginning of their careers, starting out, and who learn so much on the day and who always tell us that it was one of the most formative experiences of their life. Our creative volunteers often participate again and again because they feel that it's such a worthwhile cause and they really enjoy it. It's a really fun event. Unfortunately, with COVID, we've had to stop for the moment our physical Book Dash events. So we've had a virtual event in April under hard lockdown where it was our first time that we tried to make our books in a virtual event, and it worked really, really well. So we'll be repeating that. And people can just go on our website and look at what we do there, fill in the contact form, and then we can always let them know when there's an event that they can apply for to participate.
With the reality of the COVID-19 pandemic, Dorette, in most instances, books become children's only way of socializing. So where does your initiative come in, especially in terms of assisting the underprivileged kids with limited access?
Yes, we've been very lucky that we've managed to distribute about 350 books this year alone with COVID to our distribution partners who have continued working with the children that they usually care for in their early child development centers. They now support the families with, for instance, food parcels, education packs, because suddenly the parents and the caregivers and the guardians have to try and let learning continue at home. And often they have no resources whatsoever. So we've managed to distribute hundreds of thousands of books this year, going out to families in a slightly different way than usual, and providing parents and guardians with resources at home that they can read with the children and they can help them continue their learning at home on the one hand, and on the other hand, and this is so important about books, that they create an opportunity for emotional bonding between the parents and the children. It's a moment of togetherness, it's a moment of security, it's a moment of joy, and it's so important in our world at the moment, where children are actually quite stressed and feel very uncertain because everything has changed.
All right, Dorette, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for chatting to us this morning.
Thank you, Simpiwe.